Hi, thank you so much for joining me for this live. If you're a busy business owner or executive looking to be fit and making progress with your fitness while you're on travel, this video is perfect for you. I am in the midst of traveling right now for business, so I am going to share some tips that are helping me stay on track. These are the same tips that I help use for my clients to help them stay on track. A little backstory on me, if you don't already know me. I'm Sarah Bennett. I've been in the fitness industry for over 20 years. I have graduated from being a personal trainer to a business fitness consultant or contractor, depending on how you want to word it. And I help busy business owners and executives reach their fitness goals and be successful not only with fitness, but business. And I'm here to share some tips to make sure that you are set up for success with your travel and your business and your fitness the next time that you hit the road or the skies. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about today is actually a psychology technique that you can use with my research in biomedical science and pre-med education. This is something that I learned in making sure that you are set up for success mentally. So we can have the best game plan for making sure that our fitness is on track for our travels with workouts, our nutrition is with planning our foods, through the upcoming weeks or week that you're traveling. But if your mindset isn't right, then it's going to make sure that you're not going to probably make progress with those goals. So it's a big speed bump on the road of progress. So one thing that I learned, and again, in this education that I've been through for pre-med, is using Maslow's hierarchy of needs for, this is actually in part of a more of an economics type class I was taking. If you've ever taken a business or economics class, then you've learned about using Maslow's hierarchy of needs in the hiring process. So if you have a employee, for example, who is really wanting more family time, but you give them a bonus, it would actually serve them better if you gave them more time paid off with their family, because that is their need at the time. So the same thing is true with our health and fitness and using Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you're not familiar with that, on the lower portion of Maslow's is going to be more the psychological and survival. As you go up, it's more safety and security. Then we have going up to more social elements. And then on the very top is, ego's next, and then self-actualization's on the top. So for psychology, the things that are on the base are what is the most primal instinct that's getting us. So in the pillar 4 of my executive training process, I call this the align pillar because it has to do with mindset. And that's dealing with this Maslow's hierarchy of needs that happens inside of us, that intrinsic motivation that we have that we're not even quite aware of because it's so primal. So with this process, it helps you set yourself up for success to make sure that you're not getting in your own way, even if you have the most beautiful workout plan and nutrition plan. So in the primal process, we look beyond just the ego and self-actualization. A lot of goal setting and a lot of fitness, missions that you're on are going to be more towards ego and self-actualization or social goals. So I want to fit in a certain outfit. I want to look good for my networking events. I want to go to a vacation and look good in my swimsuit or my swim trunks. I want to feel better while I'm going, throughout the day. And these are more, the feel good is a very important one, but it's not on that base of psychological and survival. So we try to focus on getting your goals down into that psychological and survival mode. So if you were, and this is an extreme example, if you had a health issue that was really being compromising of the lifespan you might have. So for example, I had a client, her father had passed away at a very young age from health issues. She was having precursor signs of all these conditions, didn't have full blown like him, but she was on the cusp of having these medical conditions, the same ones that he actually passed away early from at a young age. So that was a very big survival motivation for her. So nothing could get in her way at that point because she did not want to live that same story. So she lost over 50 pounds. She cleaned up her diet. She cleaned up her exercise. And because she had that really deep-rooted psychological and survival motivation, she was very, very strong and adamant on reaching her goals. So it doesn't have to be that extreme, but we want to make sure that your fitness and nutrition and wellness goals are all on that base level of psychological and survival. So when you're going into your next travel trip, for example, there are a lot of things that can get into the way of your focus, because you're so focused on work, you're sleep deprived, you're going through time zones. you're having weird nutrition. I'm in the Midwest right now, and so the foods here are huge and they're very country, not the healthiest options everywhere. And again, I strategically planned where I'm at, so I do have some of those options, but in other parts of this area, it's not so much. So with the psychological and survival base, I'm focusing on, I want to make sure that I'm mentally sharp throughout the day. My energy is good, that I am physically feeling strong. And all those things are more survival, psychological based goals versus being like, oh, I want to, feel good, just feel good, or I want to go to this next networking event and look my best. So those are higher level of thinking. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's those primal process base level thinking is really what gets us motivated the most. And that leads us into the next part of this align pillar for my executive training method that I use for, again, my business owners and executives, is manifest needs. So a manifest need is whatever need is motivating you at that given moment. So for example, you have a beautiful plan for your workout. You just landed, wake up early in the morning, work out, you're going to eat a healthy breakfast that you had already planned out with the cafe and the lobby level. And then you're going to catch your Uber to your next destination for your business meetings. But your plane got delayed. By the way, you guys, this happened to me, so I'm using this example for real life. I actually had this happen traveling here. But your plane got delayed due to weather, so you're grounded for hours, and you ended up landing at 4 a.m. And so getting up at 6 is not realistic to work out. So your whole day for the next day is thrown off. Are you going to just forget about everything because you're tired? So that manifest need at that moment for me personally, in that story, if it happened to you, is fatigue. So that is a primal need that is on the base level for survival. You need sleep. So if you're sleep deprived, that is the manifest need. It's going to trigger over everything at that moment. So if you're aware of this whole process, you can see that. You can say, okay, sleep is my manifest need that's coming up right now. And how can I strategically work around this? Because this higher level of thinking is getting trumped by that. Whatever your manifest survival need is, it's going to trump everything up on that pyramid of Maslow's to that higher level of thinking. So you're not going to be as motivated to get your health and fitness goals. By the way, this is why we go backwards on our goals. Most of the times when we go backwards with our health, nutrition, fitness, there's usually a manifest need that's getting in the way. So I just use sleep as an example. It can also be stress. If you have a very high stress environment, whether you're in the environment or it's just your life at that moment, whatever is going on, you can also be extremely hungry. Weather can get in the way if you're extremely hot, if you're extremely cold. There's a lot of these things that can trigger anxiety is another one, that if you're feeling very anxious, all you can think about is that manifest need, and it trumps out everything else because you need to solve this. You need to solve the sleep. You need to solve the stress. You need to solve the anxiety. You need to solve being too hot, too cold. So all these things for survival and psychological detractions are going to be what is overriding everything else. So first of all is recognizing that and finding a solution to getting those solved. If you cannot solve it, you have to make sure that your nutrition and fitness is on the same level. So that is your manifest need. So you can say, oh, I don't need to fit in this outfit for my networking event, or I don't have to necessarily feel my best. But if you're like, my fitness is not important. My health is not important. When that is everything, you cannot trade your health. Only you can be fit. Only you can eat healthy. Only you can exercise. If you get into that mindset of, okay, my health and fitness, beyond this work, beyond this stress, beyond this sleep, my health and fitness is everything. That is me. That is what is driving me. If I don't take care of my body, it will not take care of me. If you have that mindset hit at that moment, that will trump out the other thing and think, okay, how can I solve this? So for example, that Monday, there was no way that I was getting up at 6. I could have, but that was not good for my health in the long run. So I found a time that was later in the day that I was able to get my workout in after my meetings, and made sure that I went to bed early that night to make sure I could wake up the next morning and be back on my schedule. So I didn't instead say, I'm tired today, I'm not going to work out at all. I instead said, how can I make sure I am successful in the midst of this? Because my health and fitness is my survival. My health and fitness is my survival. So make sure that, again, when you're on your next trip, this is my pillar 4 for my executive training process, that you understand this process of the primal process and motivating needs of your manifest needs. Make your health and fitness your manifest needs and understand the primal process so that when those things come up, that you are very aware of it and that you can detour. So just as we would in business, again, with the people that we hire on and being very aware of what their needs are, be very aware of what your needs are and what things are triggering you to make you go off track, and also making your health and fitness that manifest need. So it is on that same level and it is not going to be knocked out by anything else, whether it's stress, anxiety, sleep, weather, all the things that are for psychological and survival. So let me know how this helps you next trip. And I mean, honestly, without travel, this is something that you can incorporate every day throughout the year. And with practice, it does get better. And with that, your fitness and nutrition no longer has to be something that you waver on. It is steady and solid every day because it is your primal manifest need.